Alright guys, Chase here with Southwest Indiana Outdoors, and today's video we're going to be talking Christmas gifts for the kayak angler. I'm going to start off with some items that are a little bit lower in the price range and kind of work my way up to some of the more expensive items that I think are really good for any kayak angler out there. So starting off with something that I think is very vital, as we are pretty hard on our gear out on the water, and a lot of times we're hard on our gear hauling it to and from the water. For me, my rods are in my truck, I'm going to say probably 300 days a year. They are almost always out there. And how I protect my rods is I use the Tournament Series rod sleeves made by Rod Glove. I think those are some awesome rod sleeves. They're very affordable in price. They are neoprene, so you don't have issues with your hooks catching in them and actually picking the rod sleeve apart, having to cut your hooks out of them. The hooks will just kind of hook onto them and you can pull it right back out. So I highly suggest checking those out. I will be linking everything I talk about today in the description of today's video. So yeah, Tournament Series by Rod Glove, excellent, excellent rod sleeves. The next piece of equipment I want to talk about is another one that I think is very important, and it is the Rogue phone tether. So it's called the Rogue Protector. I think that piece of gear is so vital because it's keeping an important safety device on you. You're not going to lose it in the water. You've got your phone right there. Especially if you're a tournament angler, if you lose your phone, you lose your way of taking pictures and submitting them for your tournaments. So Kayla and I have used these for quite a while. Kayla lost her phone before I actually purchased her one of these, and that was one of the mistakes I made. Don't make that same mistake. Make sure that you get them a Rogue phone tether. It is such a great piece of gear, and it's a piece of gear that I trust. I've dropped my phone time and time again, and that tether has saved my phone. Next thing I want to talk about is something that is small, and I think it is so important to have, and that is a Boomerang Tool Co. pair of snips. And I go with the long nose snips because number one, they seem to last longer, and you've got more area, surface area for those scissors to catch, and they cut through braid really well. They're going to cut your mono and your fluorocarbon super easy, but they cut through braid very well also. I always have it on me. I'll actually clip it to my PFD at all times, and they call them boomerang because you pull them out and they'll kind of snap back to you. So I keep those, like I said, right here on, I've got a pocket right here on my PFD. I keep those clipped to that pocket at all times. And whether I'm retying, whether I've got, somebody else's line snagged up on me and I've got to cut that, I've got those snips right there. And it is such a simple thing to just cut the line out of the way. The next thing, I'm going to kind of get into tackle storage and wanted to talk about how I store my soft plastics. So there are a lot of different options out there, a lot of soft plastics bags. They have the worm binders. They have, multiple different bags, some that look just like a Ziploc bag. You can use a Ziploc bag. But what I really love is Plano makes these bags. They're KVD speed bags. They are awesome. They hold somewhere between 20-25 pieces of packages of soft plastics in them. So they hold plenty. You can have multiple bags on you. And they fold open. They kind of Velcro as you unzip them. You can Velcro them and fold them open, and they open up completely, and you've got all your plastics right there, easy accessible. I always sort my plastics by the kind of plastic. I've got my most used plastics, like my Dadfish imitators. I've got them right towards the front, and I have them sorted by color. I'm going to have my watermelon red first because that's my most common color. Next, I'm going to have my pearl white because that's what I'm going to throw next. If I'm throwing a white chatterbait, shad colored chatterbait, putting that pearl white on there. So yeah, KVD speed bags, they are very affordable and they just work. They're great bags to have on the water. Like I said, they're going to hold anywhere from 20 to 25 pieces or bags of soft plastics. The next tackle storage solution I'm going to say is the Kastking Hyperseal boxes. So all of my hard baits and my frogs, you know, from glide baits to crankbaits. You guys know I throw a ton of crankbaits. Um, all the way to my jerk baits. I have boxes, and my favorite boxes are by far the Kastking Hyperseal. They seal up really well. They have a higher dollar competitor that I think Kastking does a better job at the way they seal. The closures on them I think are better, and they have a desiccant bag inside of each of them to help prevent rust on your hooks, because we all know we're throwing stuff in there that's still wet. It's very important to have stuff in there that that's going to keep your hooks from rusting out and end up wearing out all your tackles. So check out the Kastking Hyperseal boxes. I know for a fact they are on sale right now, and you can get a 2-pack for like $25. But several of these other items are going to be on sale over the upcoming weeks as we hit Black Friday. So be prepared to pick up some of these right now. It is the best time to get them. The next thing I'm going to lead into is on that higher end, and that is the Blackpak, Yak Attack Blackpak. I will say I hauled my or all of my lures in just kind of like a hard cooler at one point. I've had a hard cooler or soft cooler. I just had tackle boxes sitting beside me under my seat at one point when I upgraded and added a Blackpak, and they are on that again higher price range. But when I upgraded and added a Blackpak, it made such a world of difference for tackle storage. So I've got all of my hard baits in their in the Kastking Hyperseal boxes. I've got all those in there, and I've got a KVD Speedbag in there. I've got spare pliers. I'd normally keep a spare reel in there. I'll have a couple spools of spare line just in case. We've all had those times where we end up having a bad backlash on the water and decide, hey, it's the best thing to do is cut it and re-spool this reel. So yeah, I think having that Blackpak has made a huge difference. They also have rod holders on them, and the rod holders all have a tether on them, so they call them tether tubes. So you can actually put your rod in there, tether around the rod, and it's going to hold it in place. Whether you're bumping into trees, if you happen to turn your kayak over, that tether tube is going to hold your rods in place while you maintain your gear. So Yak Attack Blackpak, I can't say really anything bad about it. I've been very happy with them. They're not waterproof. I will say that. They have holes in them. They're going to get water in them, and they're going to drain water out. So not a waterproof storage solution. I wouldn't just leave it on my kayak all year long. But for having all your gear into one box, some people carry their batteries in there also. But having all your gear in one box and being able to just grab your gear, throw it onto the kayak right away, very, very important piece of gear. Next thing I want to talk is a very important piece of safety gear. You guys hear me all the time say, I feel it is so important to wear your PFD, your life vest, whatever you want to call it. It is so important to wear it. And right now, the life vest I use, I always say get a comfortable one. The life vest I use is a Stohlquist Fisherman. They are on sale right now on Amazon, so no better time than right now to pick one up. They are such a comfortable life vest. They have 2 large pockets on them. So I've got one pocket where I keep my phone and one pocket where I keep my pliers. And like I said, I've got my snips connected to them. I keep a knife right here on the PFD just in case I were to tip over, get in some braided line. I've got something to free myself. So having a good PFD that's comfortable, and that one is, it's very comfortable. I'll wear it all day on the water. I wear it throughout the summer. I'm not going to say it doesn't get hot, but it still stays comfortable throughout those hotter months. And like I said, yeah, it's always on me. If I'm on the kayak, that PFD is on me. Sometimes if I'm wading, I'll even wear that PFD. It's, like I said, very comfortable, and it holds my gear close to me. Another thing that I really want to stress the importance of for a kayak angler is a good paddle. So many people think, a paddle is a minor piece of gear. You can go to Walmart and you can pick up a paddle for $20, $30. And you're going to find some that are on sale and you're just going to jump on that because, hey, it's going to get you out and it's going to push you around. And then you go out and you have to actually use it, and the paddle is heavy and fragile. You end up breaking one of the paddles off of one end, and next thing you know, that paddle is a complete waste and you can't get to and from where you need to go. In a paddle kayak, it's obviously your method of going anywhere you want to go. But even a pedal kayak or a motorized kayak, there are going to be times that you're going to have to paddle. I I I would say I probably pedal about 60% of the time and paddle about 40% of the time in my kayak. And if I did not have a good quality paddle, then it would make my day a whole lot worse. And I really strongly suggest Bending Branches paddles. Like I said, I will link one in the description. Uh, I think that there are better paddles out there, but for the price, Bending Branches is great, and they are very, very good quality paddles. Normally very lightweight, and again, they just last. The last thing I really want to talk about is something that's not necessarily a kayak related piece of gear, but for those guys that travel for tournaments, that like to camp, and we do both. We like to travel, we like to camp, we find spots that we can spend a few days camping. And although I don't have a lot of electronics on my kayak, I always have a lot of electronics, especially, I've got my GoPros, I got the phone, so I'm always having to charge a gear. I strongly suggest a Jackery box. And the one I'm going to link in the description has solar panels, so it recharges from the sun and holds a lot of power. You'll be able to recharge your batteries for your fish finders on it. Again, if you do what I do and record every single thing that you do on your trips, you're going to be able to recharge your cameras. You're going to be able to recharge your phone even if you don't have power at your campsite. So Jackery makes some great products. We actually first picked it up because my wife does a laser engraving business, and we were using the Jackery for one of her lasers when we would go to shows. And just shortly after picking it up, I was like, oh, this is going to be a game changer when it comes to camping. So strongly suggest picking one of those up. And they are on a major sale right now. So definitely go to my link in the description and follow that to Amazon and pick one up yourself. I will say these are affiliate links, and I do make a slight amount on all these. But yeah, check them out. So like I said, guys, that is my top picks for Christmas gear. I will throw in a few honorable mentions and talk about a few items that I use a lot and trust. Starting out with Dadfish Tackle, I absolutely love the Imitator, and I love the Lawnmower Blade, which is his bladed jig. His soft plastics are great. I love the scent on the soft plastics. They're great. The Imitator has a good action whether you're Texas rigging it or throwing it on the back of that bladed jig. Then I'm going to say 12 Oaks Custom Lures. When it comes to hard baits, there are no lures that I'm using besides 12 Oaks Custom Lures. If you look at my tackle box, I have box after box after box of 12 Oaks Custom hard baits. And my favorite is the Griffin. So he paints up a Mega Bass Griffin, and he has it in whatever color you want. If you don't like the colors that he currently has, send him pictures of what you're looking for, and he will paint it up and send you right what you want. And then I also have really fallen in love with this year Tactical Fishing Company. They're frogs. They make a B2 frog that I don't think there is a better frog for walking on grass. I've caught so many fish on it this year. And then another frog that really hooked me over the last 2 months, especially when the grass started kind of separating, dying out a little bit, and the fish were pulled just a little bit off of that grass. the Dragon Pop Frog ended up winning a tournament for me. There, it's a small frog. It's got a good popping action. It's kind of subtle, and man, it draws some huge bites. And then something else that I just recently picked up, again for the tournament angler, is Trash Panda decals. They make a really cool identifier for your tournament board. So on my catch board now, I have Trash Panda decals identifier, and I have on there all the companies I work with: Dadfish Tackle, Tactical Fishing Company, Yak Rods. All the awesome companies that I work with are right there on that identifier, and it's cool to be able to shout them out as I'm getting, catching good fish. Every single picture I'm submitting has those companies that I love going to everyone who's viewing that picture. So I think that's really awesome. Check out Trash Panda decals. And yeah, so that's what I have, guys. Let me know what you're going to buy for your kayak angler this year. And let me know if you think that I missed anything in this. Thanks for watching, and check out a few more videos.